Hello, Placentia Chamber. This is Eric Holmgren, your ambassador at large. And today I am interviewing, well, mostly Darcy Copeland of SpoofDawg to the rescue. And we have a little friend here joining us as well. Good morning, Darcy.
Good morning.
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Okay, well, SpoofDawg to the Rescue is a nonprofit organization that I founded 3 years ago. And what we do is we get food and supplies to animal rescues in need. So Bubsy here is our mascot, so he goes with me to pick up food and supplies every week. We've grown into from a little tiny organization, and we're getting a little bit bigger. We have a lot of volunteers, and we are growing in size as far as getting the amounts of food and supplies out to, up to about 90 rescues now in Southern California.
Okay. And what prompted you to start your program?
So I just wanted to do something to help the animals and get into something rescue. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, and I didn't have a lot of knowledge of what they needed or anything. And then just hanging around out with the rescues, I found the need for, the really important things that they needed. And it was like money for medical, and then food and pet food and supplies. So I thought, I can probably get that for them. So it started very small, and I'd show up with a little tiny carload, and I'd go, ta-da! They'd go, yeah, thanks. But now we show up with a huge truckload, and they can come actually over to our facility and pick out things. So.
Okay, so how long has the organization been around?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, so you've grown quite a bit, because what's volume? Do you measure it by volume or by dollars of product contributed? How do you measure your growth?
I think we measure it by a lot of different things, but our growth is come with the more volunteers we get in, then the more help, the more hands, we can just keep growing. We've measured it by our inventory, like what we bring in, we inventory it all just so we have an idea of how much we actually are getting out. And we've gotten to, actually in 2020, we hit $1 million. So we've gotten $1 million worth of supplies out. And that's been a huge, factor in, wow, where we're at already.
Right.
And we actually grew out of, our little garage space. We had to get a 1,600 square foot building to house all these supplies and foods, and it's all because people are donating. So
right.
And companies. So that's the reason why we're growing, and they're all kind of starting to jump on board. They're hearing about us. They know we're reputable. We check out the rescues to make sure they're reputable. So we're not just giving people's donations away to anybody, because unfortunately there are some some of those out there.
Yeah.
So we keep track of it, and people that donate to us know that it's going where it's supposed to go.
Okay. And so then the challenge you have now is you've got, well, you don't have to worry about payroll because you've got volunteers. Your challenge now is you've got a different overhead to keep track of, which is your rent on your space. So how are you dealing with that, given the circumstances for trying to get donations and things?
Right. So COVID hit, and then it actually stopped all events, which are fundraising events for us and all the rescues we help. So as soon as that hit, all the rescues needed food and supplies. They couldn't do their own events to raise funds, and then we were like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll help you. We were doing that, getting them. And then it finally dawned on us, oh, wait, we need to have our events because we need to pay for rent. And that's our artery. That's, if we lose our shop, we cannot keep doing what we do, and that's just the one thing that we need. And I'm sure, other nonprofits go through this as well, to pay for those other things that, stamps and, the operational expenses. So that's where we're in trouble. Not in trouble, but that's our challenge. I want to say. So we need to find different avenues of how we can do that, maybe grants or something like that, but we are not very knowledgeable at that. So, any volunteers that could help us, bring that to the table would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the past, yes, you would have had a fundraising type of event, in-person some type of thing, maybe with the chamber or with other types of activities in the area. And so have you tried doing some things online or shifting a little bit more to some of the different online types of fundraising mechanisms?
Yes, we didn't we didn't really do too much at first, but now we're starting to really be creative about it, because there's so many things going on online, and you're almost like competing with, coming up with something different and fun. And we actually did just have our first Doodle for Dogs class, and so we started those, and it's kind of like an online Zoom party, and you learn how to draw doodles, and it's, you'd think it would be really easy, but it's not, and it's fun, and it's totally relaxing. So we just did it Sunday. We had 20 something people joined us for our first one, which was great. And they were at home. We sent them the kits, and they were at home, and they had their bottles of wine, and they were sitting there doodling, and they were having a blast. So that might be our way to go, throughout the year. We'll do a couple of those, and just, like I said, thinking creatively out of the box, which I think we all need to do, and to grab those donors and get people interested, and so they can see the problems and see that, and hopefully help. Right.
Well, and it sounds like too, you would have had a lot of work with all the wildfires and everything else, helping out folks that suddenly found themselves with their pet, but their house was either damaged or and so they need some sort of assistance.
Correct. Yeah. So that's another thing we do is when there's emergencies, earthquakes or fires, we go out with a truckload of food and supplies and we target an area where the fires are, so then the locals can come out, the people that have had to evacuate, to get food and beds and things they just couldn't grab when they were on their way out the door, but they did get their pet, thankfully. And we first target the rescues or sanctuaries in the area, because they have to evacuate all the animals. So we need to get them crates, we need to get them beds and food and those kind of things. And then our goal is to have like a networking group of all these rescues that can help. So, if someone has to evacuate 60 animals, they can just put a shout out in one group and go, hey, we need help, we need trailers, we need to move, we need places to put all these animals, because that's a huge problem, when there's a fire at your back door. So, just the last fire, the Bobcat fire, we were able to help a sanctuary. She'd just opened and her place burned to the ground. And unfortunately, she lost everything but the clothes on her back, and she was able to get the animals out. So we were there the next day with a truckload of food and supplies to get her through the next couple months. We've stayed in contact. We did make another run out there months later to help her with more things, because she's still not, she's just rebuilding now, and literally everything was gone, and we were walking through the ashes that were her home, and it was just heartbreaking. So it's nice to know that we can be there to help, and that's where the donations are going, and it's just so incredible how many people came out of the woodwork to help and to donate, and it's just incredible. It's amazing.
Good. Well, it sounds like if any of you out there that are watching this have ideas for fundraisers or would like to contribute, please get in touch with Darcy at SpoofDawg to the rescue. And you help more than dogs, right?
We do cats too, and we actually get guinea pig food and mouse food and bird food.
There you go. So you don't discriminate.
We don't discriminate against animals, no.
All right. Well, Darcy, it was great to chat with you and find out more about your organization. And thank you for all the great stuff that you're doing to help people during these troubled times. And until the next episode, be well.
Bye. Thank you.